What is going on, guys, and welcome to Bootstrap tutorial. And in this video we're going to look at a little bit more interesting and maybe a little bit more complicated example of Modal, where we're actually placing a button over here as a modal in our navbar over here like this. So once we click sign up over here, you can see actually that we have a form within our modal, right? So it's a little bit interesting than our basic modal example. And obviously we have over here a responsive navbar. So once I click over here, you can see this is the same button and I still have the same modal. So again, let's stop yapping over here and let's actually get to the coding, right? So I'm just going to jump to text editor, but I'm going to do a little bit of cheating, right? Because if we're working in the brackets and if we have over here this extension that actually opens a new over here, a Bootstrap examples over here like this, it's actually called, I believe it's going to be like Bootstrap starter template, something like this over here. So I have installed and it's going to be over here Bootstrap starter template, right? So I have this extension, right? So what I need to do over here is I just go over here to my file and I have a new Bootstrap template, right? So I just click over here to new Bootstrap template, and what happens is that I right away have this template, right? So what I'm going to do over here, I'm just going to say save as, and I'm going to say that this is going to be a simple, let's say, modal in navbar HTML, right? Kind of long name and stupid and everything, but it just kind of explains what we're doing, right? So I'm just going to save it over here, and now you can see that I have this a new Bootstrap template right away. And what it does, it actually gives me right away a navbar and actually a responsive navbar, right? By default right away. Then it has like three links over here. And it also have over here this div that just has some letters over here, right? Because I don't want to create everything from the new, because we already have covered navbars and everything. I'm just going to add our modals over here. So the first thing that I want to do is, if you remember how we were adding actually buttons, right? So over here are my links, but now I would want to add this button, right? This modal button. So I'll go back to my index.html where we created actually this button. And what I'm going to do over here, I'm just going to copy this. So I'm just going to say that I want to copy this button over here like this. And I'm going to go back to this file, right? And I'm just going to paste it. And now what I would need to add, if you remember that when we were working in nav, we would have a navbar over here button like this. This is what we would need to write. Otherwise, it actually wouldn't be lining up really well, right? So over here you can see that I have click to open modal, so I can actually maybe change the name over here. I can just say sign up over here, sign up. Right, and you can see if I'm going to change this navbar button to something else, you can see how it's not actually lining up, right? And actually, if I make my navbar bigger, you can see how it's all the way to the top, right? And we don't want that. Therefore, we're adding this navbar button, right? So now we have our modal over here, and you can see that this is going to be container. Where's my information, right? Over here. So if I just close it out over here, Bootstrap starter template, right? This is going to be my div over here, this container. So I'm going to create a little bit more space, and I'm actually going to paste my modal. But what I'm going to do in the modal, I'm going to change around my modal content. So again, I go back to our index.html, where is our simple modal, and I'm just going to copy this modal altogether with all the comments and everything. And the only thing is I'm not going to copy the actual container, the jumbotron. So I'm just going to say copy. I'm going to go back to simple modal in the navbar, and over here we're just going to paste the modal, right? So now we have our nav, then we have over here this Bootstrap starter template container, but this is going to be our modal. And what we're going to do in the modal, we're just going to change some stuff around. And let's say I'm right away going to open it up, so then as we're working, we can actually see what we're doing, right? So over here, I'm just going to say that this is not going to be a header. This is going to be a sign up form. So I'm going to say, I don't know, please sign up here. This is going to be our header. Then in the actual body, we're just going to create over here a couple of things. And what we're going to do, we're going to actually delete this paragraph. And if we remember how to create forms, the first we need to create a form. And let's say over here, I'm just going to say the first name. So I'm going to say div, and div is going to have a class, and the class is going to be form group over here like this, form group. And within the form group, we're going to actually create a label over here like this, and we're going to have a for, and this is going to have a ID name. So therefore I'm going to say name, and here I'm going to say name over here like this. And then I'm going to create a input, and the input is going to have a type over here like this, and it's going to be text. And after that, we're going to say that it's going to have a class of form control over here like this. And then we're going to say that this is going to have a name ID of a name, right? Because that's what we used over here in a label, right? So now we close it out. Now you can see that Bootstrap actually created over here for us the first form. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to copy this like 3 times over here like this. I'm just going to say copy, and here we're going to paste it, and we're going to paste it one more time over here like this. So now I have 3 of them, and here this is going to be last name, and obviously this one we're also going to change to last name like this, and this one we're going to change, right? So again, we're going to use the attribute, we're going to change the attribute for, we're going to change the ID, and we're going to actually change the actual text, right? So again, pretty straightforward what we're doing. Now this one we're actually going to change it to email. So I'm going to say that this is going to be email, this is going to be email, and the type is going to be email, right? That's what we would want. So we have email, and we also need the ID email, right? Email, right? So after that, the last thing that we're going to do is actually add a button over here, which is a sign up button, right? So I'm going to say type, and this is going to be submit, and over here we're going to say class, and again this is going to be button, I don't know, I guess danger again, danger info, whatever you would want. And over here I'm just going to write that this is going to be a submit please button, right? So what we have over here is a simple modal that actually we can use as a form, right? And we could obviously add it here, over here, passwords or whatever we want. We just pretty much use the most simplest 3 forms, right? Name, last name, and email, right? So here, if I click submit please, we're obviously leaving because we haven't connected to anything, but you can see the idea how we can create a nav bar, right? Over here, I'm just gonna make it probably bigger, right? We have a button over here that says sign up, but actually button has a modal where we actually place the forms over here, and then if we want, we can close the modal over here, or we can close the modal over here in this header with this little button, right? So you can see how easy it is. This is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next.